Nigeria over time has experienced many migration movements. Many people have left the country in search of better opportunities, safety, and better quality of life. At the same time, Nigeria has also received a lot of migrants of other African countries. In this presentation, we will analyze and talk the different perspectives and recommendations given in response to migration difficulties, and we will also talk about the arrests that are sometimes made in an irregular way to control and prevent illegal migration. Finally, we will discuss and talk Nigeria's position on these issues and how the country responds to these challenges. My name is Emilio Navarro and this is BBC News. Erandi, will now give us some context about Nigeria. Can you explain me the current migration situation in Nigeria, please?
Nigeria has such a complex migratory situation because while some countries have to face mainly refugees or economic migrants, Nigeria has this dual challenge, having to address both displaced people due to internal conflicts and humanitarian crises, as well as cross-border movements from neighboring states.
Okay, thanks. And another question that probably the people have is about how is Nigeria migration situation different from other regions with their migration crisis? Can you explain me that, please?
The situation is that Nigeria doesn't have such a large scale problem with irregular migration as another countries from maybe Europe or America have, because Nigeria is both an origin and transit country for migrants in West Africa.
Okay, thanks. And finally, I want to know about why is immigration detention in Nigeria being discussed at the United Nations Human Rights Council?
That's because in the human rights law, detention should be only used as a last instance resource, and as Nigeria uses it regularly, the concern about the conditions where these migrants are living increases in an international scale.
Okay, thank you so much. Now I'm going to talk with Herman, and I want to know about the main facts about migration in Nigeria. Can you explain me that, please?
The delegation of Nigeria respectfully notes that immigration detention in its territory is by regulated by national law and is mainly used for border security, trafficking, or irregular entry causes. Although some international observers that has raised concerns about conditions or the length of detention, Nigeria maintains that these measures are not punitive but administrative and security related. Compared to large migration crises in other parts of the world, Nigeria's situation is different. The country mainly manages mixed migration flows and internal displacement.
Okay, thank you so much. And now I want to know about how does the government of Nigeria explain the use of immigration detention?
The government of Nigeria respectfully notes that immigration detention is regulated by the board and apply primarily cases of security or irregular entry because it administrate rather than punitive in nature.
Okay, thank you so much.
The information I presented was gathered from official websites such as the United Nations Human Rights Council and also the International Organization for Migration.
According to the United Nations Human Rights Council, in its Universal Periodic Review report on Nigeria, consistent with international standards,
recommends strengthening safeguards to ensure proportional and political oversight. Furthermore, the official of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights states that detention should be necessary, reasonable, and subject to review. This is the arguments of official of Nigeria state.
Well, in conclusion, Nigeria has faced many challenges related to migration over the years. Economic problems, insecurity, and lack of opportunities have pushed many people to leave the country. However, strict measures and some irregular arrests have created concern and debate. It is important to consider different recommendations and find fair human rights solutions. Nigeria's position should focus on improving conditions inside the country while also respecting the rights of migrants. In this way, migration problems can be addressed in a more balanced and effective way.